What are the benefits of migrating my systems to the cloud? Well, there are a lot of benefits. We recently ran a study of North American companies, and we asked IT professionals and people in executive and upper management positions about things like how many workloads had they migrated to the cloud, what migration strategies they had, their challenges around there, and we found benefits across three main categories. We looked at the financial impact of migrating. We looked at the operational efficiency of IT management and the IT teams. And then we looked at the product development and speed to market. And we saw improvements across the board with the more workloads that were migrated at an organization. When you're looking at the financial impact, we have data that shows that IT spend across all spend categories just drops dramatically when you have high cloud utilization. But when you're looking further than that, when you think about the revenue growth that's possible with cost reduction, when you think about the visibility that you have when your systems are in the cloud, that allows you to manage that cash flow better, better operating margins. The financial impact has a pretty widespread reach. If you look at operational efficiency, the way that we measure that was things like how fast you can release changes to your product to the market, or how often you can schedule software releases themselves, how quickly you can provision new infrastructure. The more migrated an organization was, the higher that operational efficiency across the board as well. And then the speed to market, when we're looking at things like actually getting your product developed and released. That has a huge impact on not just looking at the efficiency and the benchmark this day versus this day when you're migrated, but just on your competitive advantage and your market standing. I don't think that you have to argue that moving to the cloud is beneficial anymore. I think most companies know that. I think what you need to do is make sure that they understand just how beneficial it is and how holistic and sustainable moving to the cloud is. It's not just moving your data to a larger storage area or reducing the amount of spend you have on physical hardware and systems. It is improving your market agility. It's improving your bottom line. It's empowering your teams. It's allowing you to put your money in more strategic areas, like if you're spending a couple $1 million a year on physical hardware versus if you're spending it on highly skilled technology professionals. So I think that understanding that connection is really important for companies if they're trying to build out their migration plan or get buy-in.
There are so many benefits about migrating to the cloud, and also concerns that people have when first deciding whether or not migration is for their company. I think that the first one that is most important from my perspective would be that it's much easier to adapt to changing business requirements when you do have a cloud-based infrastructure or architecture. So to me, what that means is you're not having to go back in there and manually tinker with your applications based off of how many requests you're getting online. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about the popularity of your website or whatever you're hosting after it's already been deployed. Things like scalability, reliability, those things should be kind of a non-issue, because as a developer or as an organization, you're going to have a lot of other things on your mind. You don't need to worry about whether or not your application is crashing. And the cloud platforms like AWS, platforms like Azure have a lot of services that make it easier for you to adapt to those changing needs. So you can scale things on demand, horizontally or vertically, and nobody has to do anything about it. It just happens automatically once you configure it for the first time. And kind of on that tangent as well, another benefit is making those changes in your software development lifecycle or your continuous integration, continuous development platform. Those can be done, you can host those things in the cloud so that it makes it easier for you to get those deployments out faster and have newer versions of your applications. So things like that, I think that from a business perspective, we don't always realize how important the quickness of development is. But when it comes to being able to get out new releases, if your SDLC is not super efficient, or you don't have a CI/CD pipeline, I don't really see a way that you can respond to your business needs in a timely manner. So I think that those are kind of some of the big points that are super beneficial to adopting any sort of a cloud technology, but particularly with public cloud, because again, it's easier when some of these services are managed and you don't have to go in there and think about the hardware aspects of things like you would have to if you were hosting in a private cloud or a hybrid solution.